What's good? It's Jordan. Today I'll be talking to you about business brings out the worst in people. See, what we have to understand in this life today, especially in modern society, is that we have to understand how business works. Many of us do not understand how business works. We do not understand the business proceedings that we may face and deal with, especially in modern society. And we have to understand these things because it's crucial that we understand business. It's crucial that we understand what we're getting into, what we're signing up for, and what obligations that we may provide in these business dealings. We have to understand that in every business dealing, there may be shady intent behind it. There may be those who are trying to exploit you and trying to gain from you without you knowing or understanding. And we have to understand that in this life, especially in modern society, people may try to actually do negative things through business in order to reap resources and rewards off of your hard work and off of your labor. We have to understand that in this life today that everybody does not follow and abide by the same laws, statutes, and commandments that you may abide by. And we have to understand that everybody will be judged for the decisions that they decide to make. And especially in business, many times people think that they can actually use contractual agreements throughout business in order to try to bind you in business and actually reap resources and rewards and benefits from you. And we have to understand that these things are not good because essentially somebody is ruining your life and livelihood through these negative intents to actually gain and hoard resources. And sometimes you may not understand that you're being targeted through business dealings because you may need monetary gains and resources. You may need the infrastructure for you to network and grow. You may need the intent of having this company or business behind your name so it can elevate you in your own career path. And many times we do not actually take the time to actually understand, is this beneficial to both parties or is it beneficial to one side of the party and not the other? And in my opinion, I know that in business it can be very harsh because people are trying to change their own situations and their own livelihoods and their own careers and trying to accelerate their own lives and trying to be the best that they can be possible throughout their own career paths. And we have to understand that essentially the best thing that you can do through business is being fair. We have to understand that people may say that you don't have to be fair through business and whatever happens, happens, business is business. But essentially, through every business dealing and relationship, be fair because you do not know who you're dealing with. We have to understand that everybody does not play fair. And when you start playing with people's livelihoods, when you start playing with people's resources, then it can get into very dangerous territory. And when I mean that there are people who may actually physically harm an individual for doing those things, or they may actually go out their way to actually ruin somebody else through business dealings and relationships if that business dealing and relationship isn't placed in the proper direction. And we have to understand these things, and we have to understand that your reputation is key and it is important because if we walk this path and this journey ruining other people's lives through business and not being fair, we will face consequences for that. It may be consequences from other people or it may be consequences from the Most High. Whatever form that it may come in, know that the Most High controls it. We have to understand that in this life it's best that we be fair because your reputation is important and it lasts a very long time. If you're known for doing shady business deals and if you're known for not doing the right thing throughout a long period of time, people aren't going to trust you. And when you do not have trust in a business, then your business cannot propel forward. Many times we have to understand that as well. We may look at businesses as thriving, as successful, and all of these things that we may have aspirations and goals and envisions in our own personal life, but really and truly, we have to understand that everything isn't what meets the eye. Sometimes some of these business and corporations that we may look at as successful, quote unquote, maybe, quote unquote, filing bankruptcy, maybe going through other financial turmoil through those business dealings and relationships. And we just see things out of the outer perspective, especially those who might have a small business or not have a business at all, or those who are trying to formulate their own business to become a more larger corporations. We may look at other corporations and feel as though that these corporations and businesses and companies have everything together when we do not actually understand the larger spectrum of what's going on. So in this life, even if it's something as small as just dealing with somebody on a perspective of, for example, somebody asks you to borrow money or you ask that person to borrow money, pay that person back on time. Even if you have to go out of your way to pay that person back, pay them back on time, because that is a relationship that you're building. And we have to understand that people may work hard for their resources, and when they decide to actually put the trust in you and provide you with resources, then that trust can be compromised if you aren't doing the correct business deals with that individual. Or, for example, say that you are doing business with somebody off of the pretense of learning something such as a skill or a trade from somebody, and you're providing that person the resources after they teach you. Provide them with the resources. Some people may let that individual teach them, and then when it's time to pay, not pay that person for their service and their time. That is somebody taking time out of their own day and their own life to actually help you, and you do not want to provide them with that resource after they've helped you, after you learned from them. And these are things that can actually tarnish your reputation, tarnish you as an individual, because if you're known as a person that does negative business deals and has negative relationships with people in business, then essentially nobody isn't going to want to deal with you. Even, for example, when you get loans and you want to deal with the financial sector, and they may look at your credit report, they may look at your spending history, they may look at your career path, your employment, they may look at all different spectrums in order for them to provide you with a loan. If they see that you aren't able to pay back on time, if they see that you have negative spending habits, if they see that you aren't on the right path, then they will not provide you that loan that you may need in order for you to actually take your business to the next level. So in this life, we all have to understand that it is important that we make the right calls and right decisions when nobody is looking. It's easy to make the right decisions when everybody's looking, because obviously people are looking. But what are you doing when people are not looking? It is important, because once trust is broken amongst a relationship, it's hard for that trust to come back to where it once was. We have to all understand this, and we have to take it much more serious, because if we do not do the proper business dealings, we can tarnish relationships with genuine people who actually had our best interests at heart. And when you tarnish relationships like that with people like that, it's hard for you to actually build those relationships back afterwards. And we have to understand that in this world and in this life, genuine people are hard to find. And when you find somebody that is genuine, cling on to that person and understand that it is important that you treat that person properly, because it isn't so often where people are genuine in this life. We have to understand this and move accordingly throughout every relationship that we have, whether it be business, dealings in relationships, or not. So today, I'll be leaving you with this scripture, and I hope that this scripture can help you in your own personal life. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. It is though this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. I want to thank you for watching today, and I hope that in your own personal life you can make best judgment calls for your life that help you move on, move forward, and move ahead in this life today. Peace.